So how did it go? Dino, you were excited about the truck race on Saturday, and you said it was fast. You know, those stages went fast. At times there were 10 laps to a stage. Or
You know, what was really fast was the fact that they set a new track record. That's always thrilling. You know, you always want to see that. Racing is about speed, so you want to see that 170 miles per hour. First time ever with the trucks, first time ever going over the 170 mile per hour mark, and I think that's really cool. That race began, it was in the hands of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was, by the way, leading the second stage, and unfortunately, when the third stage started, he was a little bit mirrored back because there was some pit stop strategy that went on prior to that. He came out in around fifth, sixth spot. These guys are running in such a tight group. That's where the speed really comes into focus, and they're going down into turn number 2, and he unfortunately got taken out, and once he was eliminated, it was a whole new ball game.
And Dino, you mentioned that record around 170 miles per hour. Is that fast for these trucks? Is Pocono a place where they can get a little speed with that straightaway, or?
You know, you can really get an element of what the drafting is all about, from back to front and side to side, especially with those trucks, because they got that flat deck lid in the back, they got the wing or the spoiler on the back, and in the front they also have all of that aerodynamic stuff going on. So they really can get through, and you can get that drafting feeling, and you can get the feel for speed. You know, sometimes it's funny because you talk about Daytona, 2.5 miles, Talladega, 2.6 miles, Michigan is a 2-mile track, but the difference there is the fact that those tracks are so highly banked, and Pocono is its own animal. It's so unique because it's got those 3 corners. So to get that kind of a speed at a track like that with those trucks, it's really that's really, as they would say, hauling the mail. You know, first of all, and love him or hate him, with Kyle Busch. That's just the way he is. Off the track, sometimes he's got, you know, you might take him a different way, but when he's in that car, he is really a good race car driver, and you can't take that away from him. And in June, he was very fast. In yesterday, he was very fast. The week prior to that, at Indianapolis, he was very fast. And it's amazing that he had gone since Indianapolis in 2016, since his last win. It's just been lady luck that hasn't been on his side. But as we were talking, and a lot of the drivers were giving their post-race interviews, they said, you know, we were good, we were fast, we had this going on, that going on, but this guy was in a league of his own, and you could see that. It was his to lose, and everything came together, and there was no question that this was his day.
So NASCAR ships out from Pocono for this year, and Dino, you're very excited because in August, it's not over yet. IndyCar will come to Pocono, and it brings with it, I think, a show of some classic Indy cars, so a lot's going on, and that's something you really look forward to.
You know, Pocono was designed around Indy cars back in 1971 when they first opened. The track itself, turn number 1, turn number 2, turn number 3, all designed after specific tracks from Indianapolis to Trenton to Milwaukee. That's how the 3 corners were designed, and that's how the layout came to be. And you talk about speed. We're talking about the Cup cars. They went 179 miles an hour to qualify. The trucks, 170 miles an hour. The ARCA race, they were going nearly 170 miles an hour when they qualified and ran. Indianapolis, the Indy cars, when they come down here, you got to take this into perspective now. We're talking almost 50 miles an hour faster on the same size track, and it's just mind-boggling. It won't be no surprise to see them going 220, 225 this time around. They got a great aero kit. Next year is going to be even more exciting because they've redesigned the car. They put a new aero kit on, but for this year, for the ABC Supply 500, which comes up on August the 20th, I think it's going to be a terrific show. The last couple have been so amazingly competitive. I've never seen lead changes in passing at that track like I have in the last 2 years with the IndyCar series. For somebody like you or me who just gets in our daily driver, sometimes we go out on the interstate, sometimes we'll go maybe 75 or 80 miles an hour. Now you're going to go 150. Now I want you to imagine these guys going 170. That's average speed. Down the front straightaway, the stock cars are peaking out at nearly 200. So imagine what the Indy cars are doing. They're averaging 225 miles an hour. It's a slot car. You stand in turn number 1, you could just about hear them lift. So that's what it's like. It's a thrill ride for them. And it's just the speed. It's all about the speed. We don't get to see that in stock car racing. You see it on television at other tracks, but here you'll get to really experience it. Another special thing, real quick, on Friday, Saturday night, they're going to be racing on the front stretch with a new little track that's going to be designed specifically for TQ midgets that they're going to be having up there. Gary Munshine from Broadheadsville, who also heads up the vintage IndyCar show that's going to be taking place there. That is a must-see for all the aficionados and all of us that go back a ways and remember what it was like back in the day. There's going to be a host of great-looking restored Indy cars and midgets, sprint cars, stock cars, but they're going to be running a TQ race on the front stretch this year, Friday and Saturday. It's going to be cool.
So still so much more to come this summer, and so much more also from Dino Oberto as you keep track with him here on SSPTV News and also in the Standard Speaker.